Okay, hey there. I am back after a bit of a break. We're into February. What was the last session here? January 20th, apparently, and I kind of I hit a wall there and didn't really know what to do. So I kind of was thinking that we got this interrupt scene. That's how we kind of ended. So episode 18 here begins with an interrupt scene, or that's the idea. And it gave me this abandoned power thing focused around Grukk, which I wasn't really sure what to do with. And I think it took a week just to have some idea, and I kind of only ended up with this one sentence, which will kind of basically be about the scene. Um, Essentially, scene 18 will kind of be a meeting between Grukk and Jabba's minion, who randomly rolled. I kind of picked up this new. I forget exactly where I found this. It was linked somewhere. It's a Star Wars Oracle, which is kind of cool. I also started creating a few of my own tables here because this has got a bunch of different tables. It's really kind of focused, I think, on more rebel style stories. I started creating a few tables for myself, including a giant alien table, which is rolled on a percentile D100 to determine. In fact, I used that to determine that it was a Pawan. Just in case you're curious, it's one of those guys. That's kind of what I determined to be the guy that Grukk is meeting with. I also realized I need to kind of get my things in order here regarding the game itself, and or just the loop. I see a lot of people talking about solo RPGs and the game loop. You do this and this and this and this, and then it kind of comes back around, right? I guess that's kind of the idea. Even Mythic itself kind of has a bit of a loop to it, I guess, in terms of creating the scenes, but everything within the scene is not necessarily so much of a loop, but that's okay. I think that's kind of the part of the idea. The game loop part of it, I know one of the things I generally forget at the end is at the end of every scene, you're supposed to deal with your threads and your threads list and your characters list. I have my here. We're going to come back. This is scene 34. We're going to kind of be on Nar Shaddaa again here. In fact, at the end of this, I'm going to clean up the characters list a little bit, I think, because there's a lot of characters that can kind of be written out. I think we can take Kay out. We can definitely take the Twi'lek bartender from the first episode out. He's not a major character, hasn't come back at all. Instead, what I can do, I think, is just create a characters list so we can kind of go back and swap some of these guys in if we need to. So all these guys here, a lot of them are current, some of them are not. And so at the end of this scene, I think I will clean up the threads and characters list a little bit. Still not entirely sure where we're going with this. Another fine bit of trouble adventure that I've kind of concocted here. I let the randomness of Mythic kind of guide me a couple sessions ago to begin this. Sorry. And essentially the whole thing right now is focused on Eriadu here, and Jack's kind of, getting his ass kicked and losing cargo and losing yet another client, which tends to be a problem. So I know part of the issue there is that these characters are not necessarily suited to be running alone. An Edge of the Empire campaign, I think, just like most tabletop RPGs, assumes a party of about 4, give or take. A solitary character running around. I think I need to kind of be careful of my challenges there, because even a group of minions of 3 kicks my ass. I think I during the last fight with the carnival thugs, or the cultist thugs, as we later learned. Took 2 of them down in the fight, and then got down by the last one. And that was a tough fight. Whereas minion fights should not be nearly that difficult. When I briefly ran, I think it was an 11 session Edge of the Empire campaign, minions even up to 5, a group of, it was 5 characters, 5 PCs. Minions were nothing, man. Like, you know, some of the guys didn't even get a chance to act sometimes because they just cut down the minions with no problems. Even rivals really weren't all that tough at the time. But things, yeah, whatever. Things change. Alright, so we're going to try to figure out what we're doing here. So, let's see here. Let's dive into our session. We're going to ignore this for a little bit here. Elsewhere in the galaxy, Grukk the Crime Lord and 2 of his hired guns walk boldly into a Nar Shaddaa cantina to meet a Poan representing Jabba the Hutt. Grukk currently is owed 50,000 credits by Jax, and Jabba the Hutt's not happy with him. We ended up with a bounty on our head. So if we go into our motivations here, we see that yes, there's a bounty that Jabba placed on his head. We don't know how much it is. That's kind of been abstracted away. So let's kind of see here. What are our chaos factors? 7. Let me just kind of flip back over to this thing here. So we're going to do this. Chaos factor, sorry, we're still on this page. So I'm going to need my dice. Let's deal with the Poan here. I'm going to flip over to Un. If I can just quickly find it here. I'm starting to get quite the thick binder worth of stuff, which I have mostly labeled. Here we go, Un. So I think I'm going to back up. Where's Grukk's information? Do we have Grukk's information here? I don't think I've ever really focused too much on Grukk here. Let's just do a quick search. So, Jax's reputation is he stole from Grukk. Jax says it's a misunderstanding. And that's it. Yeah, actually, that really is it. Not a lot. Grukk has not really come into play too much during this campaign because we have not really dealt with the obligation. Now, this time we do have our obligation roll again as for the bounty. So that's where this interrupt scene is really going to come in. So let's deal with our motivations here of the Poan here. So we'll roll for the modifier again using Un. 25. Okay, so he's reputable. Let's just kind of make some notes there. Actually, we'll come back. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so he works for Jabba. He's got a reputation. I think we kind of know that here. We'll deal with the NPC noun here. So what do we got? Reputable. Sorry, I guess these are supposed to go together here. I'm not thinking. I'm just going to roll, but 97. Is this good? Reputable wizard. Ooh. Maybe he's got some force powers. Okay, NPC power level, I don't care about. Our motivation, this could actually steer the scene a little bit. 37 on the verb table here. Agonize. That's... And on the noun table. 2. Hardship. Okay. Do I maybe have a... I probably don't have anything that can deal with names for these guys. What are Poan names like? Do we have kind of an idea here? Kind of a little bit of a flip through here. Not a lot of options, I suppose. Here we need. Let's come back. So let's take a look here. His known as a wizard. His nickname is Magi. Blonde. What is he? I'll call him a representative. But he works for Jabba and has a reputation for his what do we got here? He's shrewd, business-like dealings. He is not one to be trifled with, right? We'll go with that. And he's known as Magi. Likely a nickname. Just make a few notes here. Okay, and we continue on. Grukk strolls into the dark, dimly lit Nar Shaddaa cantina. There's, some kind of dark electronic music playing in the background over the speakers, and there's dozens of people in the bar. Some hunched over the bar itself, sipping out of shot glasses or whiskey style glasses. Others kind of playing sabacc in a corner, and others just kind of roaming around and essentially kind of socializing within. Dirty dealings are being done here. There's smugglers, and there's bounty hunters, and there's assassins, all kind of scattered about. Nar Shaddaa brings in the worst of the people of the galaxy, because there's lots of work within Hutt space. Grukk, with his two bodyguards following behind him, just looks around, and in the back he sees the tall Poan, dressed kind of in a black, almost kind of suit, similar, we'll call it, to the way they're dressed here, but we'll say he's all in black. His sharpened teeth kind of glimmer in the dim light, and he just kind of raises up to his full height, and he sees Grukk come in, and he looks up over and just kind of motions him towards him. Grukk doesn't care much for being beckoned, but he knows who he's dealing with, and he's not dealing with anyone who is going to be all that forgiving. The Trandoshan strolls through the cantina, his two hired guns behind them. Their hands just kind of their gun hands not straying too far from the pistols on their sides. They kind of the hired guns cast glances left and right and over their shoulder, making sure that nobody's going to do anything to disturb their boss. And Grukk walks through the bar, shoves a drunken human out of the way who stumbled into his path. And when the guy turns to glare at him and maybe start something, he instantly stops when he sees the scarred Trandoshan. If we recall correctly, he's got all kinds of scars on his face from past dealings, and he just instantly the anger kind of fades off of his drunken face, and there's this look of fear, and he kind of skitters away quickly, disappearing into the crowd, a quick look over his shoulder. Grukk walks through the rest of the cantina to the Poan standing there, and as he approaches, the Poan just kind of gives a neat, slight bow. Greetings, Grukk. Thank you for taking my call. The notorious Jabba the Hutt wishes to have me speak with you about a mutual enemy. Grukk looks at him and goes, yes, I know who you're talking about. Please, be seated. And Grukk slides into a chair across from where the Poan was sitting, and the Poan sits down, and Gruck's kind of leaning in a little bit. But the Poan sits straight backed and neatly folds his hands kind of on the table. Perhaps we should begin this quite simply. We wish to find Captain Jax Keller. Yes, I thought this would be what this would be about. I thought so. Yes, he worked against our interests recently, and we are looking for him. Have you seen him lately? No. I've not had any dealings with Jax. He has not paid me back for what I am owed. Yes, that is what I assumed. Sorry, I'm kind of looking for dice. I feel I might need them here. What exactly does he want? He clearly wants something from Grukk. So I suppose the question is, what exactly does he want from Grukk? He called Grukk here to Nar Shaddaa to discuss Jax Keller. And is he looking to buy Grukk's debt? No, I don't think. I think that's just a no. That's impossible. I'm not even gonna roll on that. What exactly is he doing here? Looking for? Why did he send Magi to speak with Grukk? He is looking for. What's he doing? Well, he's clearly looking for Jax. He has a bounty on his head. Maybe he's hoping Grukk has some idea as to where he is, but why would he call him in person? Perhaps he's going to push Grukk into helping him a little more directly. Does that sound about right? Yeah, I'd say that sounds fair. I'd say that sounds likely. Let's find out. That's a 12. Yeah, absolutely. That is, that actually... No, that's a yes. That is... Actually, that is an extreme yes. He's not only going to push Grukk into it, he's going to threaten Grukk. The Poan isn't there just to discuss. He's there to put the fear of the Hutts into Grukk. The conversation is fairly casual at first, but the Poan gets down to business fairly quickly. And Grukk's going, why am I here? I don't understand. What do you want? What does Jabba want that he simply couldn't have sent a message or a messenger to me? Well, my dear Grukk, we are here to remind you of the power of Jabba. And the Hutts in general. You are in the Nar Shaddaa space. And the Hutts here do not take kindly to those who work against our interests. In fact, you could say that they may very well shoot down any spaceship of those not representing our interests. What are you saying? What I am saying, Grukk, is that you will help us, or we will not only destroy you, but your entire crime syndicate. What pathetic syndicate it is, if you could even call it that. I do not take threats kindly. No, nor should you, but I would take them seriously. You will help us find Jax, and soon, or we shall wipe you out. And Grukk just sits there, snarling, but he knows he's beaten. There's nothing he can do about it. Okay, end of scene. All right, end of scene. So, what have we done here? Let's deal with threads first. Threads. None of these threads are really we don't really have anything to update. Do we have new threads? I suppose we kind of do in a sense. But I think it fits right back in with the Hutt bounty on Jax. I don't think we need to make any changes. Characters list, however, we are going to update. Okay, we're going to remove K. K is no longer in the story. That was short-lived. We're going to move Grukk up. The Driftwood definitely needs to stay. Lauren Voss has nothing to do with the story anymore. We're taking him out. Zurich Brask. Very well could. I'm going to leave him and Vex in for now. We got Cade Marlowe, who's a rival smuggler. I think he should stay in. I think Professor Vexar needs to come out. I think his story arc is completely done here. We've got Grax Vorgel, the Trandoshan Merc. Jabba's Crime Syndicate. Yeah, as you can see, I'm just going to keep moving these things up. Palo Greet, we need to be concerned about. Sure. Anord Skywalker, absolutely. Camino Squad, we're going to take out. Same with the Alignac crew. And we're going to leave in Helmut Chang, of course, and Luswo Urb. All of these guys, so I took a bunch out here that I just feel have kind of moved on from the story. They're probably no longer relevant. Even Zurich and Vex are a little iffy, I think, at the moment. But they are client. They are a potential client of Jax's, even if the last bit of work didn't go exactly as planned. So I think we're going to leave them in. Everyone else gone. I'm not going to add. I don't think I'm going to specifically add Magi here, because I think we can kind of cover him as part of Jabba the Hutt's crime syndicate. I'm thinking anytime we deal with a character, when we roll the crime syndicate, it could be potentially anybody within that. It allows me a little bit more flexibility, I guess. Chaos Factor. Jax had absolutely no control over that at all, did he? Because he was not even there. We're going to call that Chaos Factor moving up to 8. We'll just, 8. Pop that back there. Okay, and then, have I forgotten something here? Because I do want to start getting into the gaming loop for this a little bit better. I want to make sure I kind of cover my processes properly here. Okay, just kind of put back here. Some fake questions. Yeah, sorry. End of scene bookkeeping. Here we go. Edit list elements. So the new threads and NPCs. Yep. It says for threads and characters that were already on the list, add another entry for them if they were important in the scene, up to a maximum of 3 on the list. No, I'm not going to be doing that. Remove threads and characters from the list that are no longer relevant to the adventure. Yeah, that's fair. Actually, you know what? Maybe we will make some minor changes, because relevant to the adventure is a little more specific. Let's take out Zurich and Vex. any of these guys could potentially kind of have something to do. I like kind of like his rivals to stay on the list. So yeah, we'll move this up. We'll shrink this even a little bit more. Cool. Okay, we're still recording and everything. Yeah, cool. Okay, so all right, things are looking good there, I think. We're now going to kind of start setting up our next scene here. Add a chaos factor of 8. However, we can kind of come back to this now because the last one was an interrupt scene. I'm just going to make update our adventure journal page here. Okay, and so the interrupt scene had interrupted this idea of Jax goes looking for answers, looking to speak at with Hellman at his carnival here. Oh, so where were we here? So what do we know again? So we got... So after Jax was beaten, Hellman kind of refused to pay him, dumped him as a... refused to work with him, refused to pay him, just left. Does Jax care? Yeah, we figured that Jax does care. He was beaten, robbed, and now he's kind of, he's a little mad about it, and he wants some answers. And a few days later, he's still healing. He was in a cantina on Eriadu, speaking with a Doug who was giving him a little bit of information. So Trossix is the Doug there who, one of those old guys who likes to solve the problems of the galaxy, sitting, there having a few drinks. So Trossix knows the thugs personally. They come and buy him drinks, listen to his stories at the cantina, so he knows that they work for a Togruta woman by the name of Luswo Urb. Luswo she's a cult leader, basically. She targets young, angry destitutes on Eriadu to join her flock, because it's a woman. She used them to steal items of value in Eriadu City, but also across the planet at times. So Hellman ran afoul of her in some past stealing, and she's been targeting his supplies. We figured maybe that's why Hellman used a third party to transport his cargo, so that it wouldn't be tracked, but that didn't really work. Instead, what we determined was Hellman used to be an acolyte of the cult and escaped it. Hellman obviously knew he was putting Jax in danger by sending his cargo on the Drifter. These are things that Jax has kind of managed to figure out by speaking with Trossix. So here we are. We're looking somewhere within Eriadu City. We go looking for... We're going looking for where the carnival is set up. So what do we have here? Looking for any tables I might be able to use to kind of push this forward. But I'm thinking probably not. Most of the stuff in this Star Wars Oracles thing really doesn't have much of use that I found so far. There are a couple cool tables, but most of it's very specific to certain circumstances. I'm just going to see what else we might have kicking around here that we can make use of. Alright, so the carnival is missing a lot of stuff anyway. So I'm thinking, is the carnival going ahead? Let's get to my fate chart here. We're at a chaos factor of 8 now. Is the carnival going ahead? Basically, I'm thinking, is he still going to put the carnival on, or is he kind of going to pack it in? We'll just kind of go with a 50-50 here. Is the carnival still going to happen? 37? Yes. Is the carnival setting up on the outskirts of the city? 71. I'm saying 50-50 again, which is also a yes. How did I spell his name before? Hellman Chang. Yeah, that's it. He's determined to have the show go on, and is currently setting up on the outskirts of your Eriadu City. Again, what do we... Oops, I shouldn't have done that. Not what I meant to do. I believe if I go back, I just look up Eriadu here. So again, what do we have? What do we know about this place? It's in the Outer Rim. It's a terrestrial planet. Mountains, jungles, a black pall. Okay. Had a black pall. Okay. It's a mining planet. Its chief export revolves around lomite ore, which is abundant on the planet. So there we go. I don't know what lomite is used for, but it doesn't really matter. I'm sure, maybe Jax will get into that another time. Right now, he's looking for answers. Jax, what kind of credits do we have here with Jax? He's doing okay now. Yeah, he's doing quite all right. Maybe it's time Jax actually invested in some transportation for ground transportation. What does it cost to buy a... What does it cost to buy say like even a speeder bike or something? Speeders. A land speeder is 4,500 credits. A military speeder bike is 3,000 credits. Now that's got a forward-mounted repeating blaster. I'm thinking that's not what he's looking for. But a basic land speeder would be pretty handy. So. Or a swoop bike. Those are pricey though. A lot more pricey. Let's come back to that because we're not talking about Jax going on a shopping spree here. We're talking about Jax having caught a ground transport to the outskirts of the city, and as Jax is exiting the, I kind of see it as like a public transport, kind of like a repulsor lift powered, floating bus that he's taken out there. This is how he's getting around, for now. But I think he is going to go shopping. The other thing that I'm just going to mention here that I do want to make note of is that because the combat system is not geared towards a solitary character, I still want. I think I've kind of thought of this before and even mentioned it on here. I still want to have Jax start building out a crew. This will reduce his take for any individual mission, but it'll increase the chances that his missions, are completed successfully. Okay. Jax steps off the public transport. There's a variety of aliens, still on it, and as he steps off, he's going to cast a glance back over his shoulder, and the doors close, and it starts to move ahead again, off to its next stop. He's managed to make it to the outskirts of the city. He's looking around, and he knows he's got a little bit of a walk to get to where the carnival is setting up. And after is it within a 15-minute walk? Let's just roll 50-50, 73. Yeah, sure. It's within 15-minute walk. Yeah. Okay, so Jax takes the public transport there, walks the last 15 minutes over to it, and finds several busy people, quite a few, a couple dozen busy people probably, scattered about, checking, opening crates, moving stuff around, and starting to set up this, temporary shelter. It's even kind of a tent, but there's a lot of technology around it, and it's there's droids even that are kind of moving stuff and setting things up. Everyone, it's a bit of a hustle and bustle. Jax takes a look. Does he find Hellman quickly? Same thing. Chaos factor of 8, 50-50. That's a 13. He spots Hellman immediately. Cool. All right, so he spots Hellman. What is Hellman? Did we figure this out at some point? I think we did. He's a human in his 40s. Yes, his carnivals kind of focus mostly on stage magic. That's right. Spots Hellman immediately. Makes a beeline right towards him, but does Hellman see him coming? I'm going to say likely. 95. No, Hellman doesn't see him coming. Hellman is kind of busy directing two droids that seem to be having a slight malfunction in their logic. He's going, no, you go over there. You get this. You do this. You need to take the repulsors there. Those are for the tent. That's to put the tent up. And Jax kind of comes up behind and just taps Hellman on the shoulder, and he goes, and I said take the. And Hellman stops and turns and goes, "You! What are you doing here? Get out of my carnival!" Jax looks around. He's like, "Look, Hellman, it's not really much of a carnival yet, but I just wanted to talk. I don't want to talk to you. Get out of here." I forget what my accent was for him. But, I want you to leave. Get out of my place. This is my carnival. I do not want you here. I understand. Look, couple questions and I'll be on my way. It sounds like me. It sounds to me like well, it's coercion kind of fit. Negotiation. Let's see here. What's gonna fit best for this kind of role? Coercion's definitely not really the way it goes. Deception, discipline. Negotiation. We don't really have a charm. Well, let's try laying on the charm. Jax goes, "Look, I know you're a very busy man and I don't want to take your time up. I know you don't really want to see me. I completely understand. I made a grave error and you lost a lot of cargo." "Yes, you lost me much cargo, much money, but many credits were invested in..." "Hellman, I know. Look, I'm going to try to get your stuff back. I just want to have an idea. I want to know who these guys are and where to find them. Just tell me if you can just tell me where they are. You know everything about this place. You know more about Eriadu than I do. You're very smart about this. All I need is a bit of a lead." Okay, let's give that a shot there. I will. So he's got 2 green dice for his charm, but we're going to have to throw a purple die on there, and I think that seems like the good spot. That just due to this, we're going to be I believe we're going to be spending a dark side point there. Where's my cheat sheet? So we're going to upgrade one of the dice. We're going to upgrade that purple to a red. Alright, here we go. Well, that actually is going to work in our favor. The red die came up completely blank. And we're actually going to get one success. And 2 advantages. It's awesome. Okay. The advantage here is that not only does he successfully charm Hellman, but Hellman gives a little bit more information than we're expecting. Hellman's going, very well, very well. Look, you will find them in the southeast area, usually of Eriadu City. They work for they work for Tagruta, kind of a matriarch. She runs a small church of sorts. You're telling me about the cultist. Is it? Well, you've heard of her, yes. Yeah, she does run a cult, yes. Usually you will find them all over the city, but her base is, and he starts kind of describing a section of the city. I'm not even going to try to figure out exactly what we're talking about here, because you will find her there at her temple, the Temple of the well, let's just kind of see if we can, let's create a temple name. It's a cult, but you know, maybe it's got some, I think there's even a cult. Is there a cult descriptor here? No, there's not specifically. Ancient gods, noble house names. Train visions and dreams. Okay. Lots of meaning tables. Let's try gods. 16. Temple of the... Combat doesn't sound very good. Let's try that again. 9. I'm not digging this table. Legends. Let's roll on the legends table here. 9 again. What bizarre. No. Alright, these tables aren't getting me anywhere. Locations. 63. Occupied. Oh, these suck for this kind of thing. This is not working. Let's see here. Temple of the Rising Waves. Maybe she's a... You know, there's water here. Maybe she's a bit of a sea cultist. Maybe she worships Cthulhu. Or something else out of the sea. Temple of the Rising Waves. That's where... okay. Temple headquarters. That's all Jax really wanted. He's like, alright, that's all I really wanted to know. Besides, do you want your stuff back? If you bring my stuff back, I will pay you. I will pay you what I owe you. Fair enough. End of scene. Okay. We continue along here. So we hit the end of scene. I will flip on back here to see our end scene stuff. Give me 1 second here. Okay, end scene. So, what else do we have here but in the rule summary about beginning and ending scenes here? Begin and end scenes. Choose a method for how to decide when a scene begins and ends. Yeah, whatever. Interest. This is the default approach. A scene starts with something interesting happening. It ends when that interest is concluded. Yeah, that works. Time or location. Scenes end when there is a change in time or location. Narrative shift. A scene ends when there is a shift in the narrative of your adventure when the next scene picking up. This is more about just figuring out what you need to be moving on to your next scene and starting a new one. But we're actually worried about the bookkeeping. So bookkeeping for this scene. We have made a little bit of progress on investigating the cult, but have not done anything to deal with the thread. Nothing else really in here needs to be updated, I think. Aside from we know we're going to be going on to scene 36, and I'm going to say that's going to lead us... That's going to decrease the chaos factor. Jax was fairly in control there. Okay, the next scene. I'm thinking the next scene here is Jax deciding he's tired of kind of walking places. He's got the cargo space. It's time to get a vehicle. Let me see here. Land speeder's probably not a bad idea. Alright. I think that's the next... so I think we're just going to kind of hand wave that. Between scenes... Jax is tired of walking and using public transport in the cities. He has the cargo hold space for it, so he goes off to buy a land speeder. Alright, I'm going to shift over here. Jax has got money. Not the XP log, credit log. So what do we got here? X-34 land speeder, which I believe is what was featured in the original Star Wars movie. I think that's what we're going to go for here. So the game kind of describes it a bit here. It's a 2-passenger coupe-styled civilian land speeder, known for its solid reputation for reliability. Turbofan engine, blah blah blah. More utilitarian than many offerings from Sorosub. This speeder has little in the way of amenities. It has a snug cockpit with 2 form-fitting seats covered in hard-wearing rubberized fabric. The controls are simple and the speeder is easy to drive, making it a useful utility speeder. I think that's what we're going to buy. So 4,500 credits. And we're actually going to get an X-34. Let's just put in the whole thing here. Land speeder, which is going to sink us down to a little under 5,000 credits now. We're going to pop over here. We're going to go... one. And if we pop over here... our assets here, we're going to need to create another character here. Do that. And vehicle sheet. So let's grab bits of information. So we got a planetary. So we got a silhouette of 2, speed of 2, handling is 0. Its hull trauma threshold is 4, and its system strain threshold is 5. Okay, we haven't given this thing a name. Its sensor range is close. The crew is it needs a 1 pilot. Encumbrance capacity. Does that see in here somewhere? I don't even see that in here anywhere. Passenger capacity. Let's go plus 1 passenger. It's only for 2 people. Its rarity is 2. Its value is 4,500. It is not restricted. It has no weapons. I'm not even giving a roll in terms of whether it's whether it can be found or not. It is fairly common to find a land speeder, so we're just going to kind of pop back out of that. I suppose I could have put those into the exact same thing, but that's fine. All right, Jax is now toting his own land speeder. He's tired of using public transport, and now he's going to be whipping around in his own little speeder. Okay. The scene opens, kind of fade in. Jack's got one hand up on the yoke, and the other one just kind of resting on the side, the low rider action. And he's just kind of cruising through the streets of Eriadu City, and he kind of looks over to his left, and there's a temple, kind of a pointed roof, and branded, out front, in big, shiny, neon, lit up, letters, words. It says Temple of the Rising Waves. Now, I'm thinking his next step here is at the temple. Actually, we're just going to keep going. I'm not even going to make a roll against this because I kind of want him to be there. And there's certain elements of the randomness of this that gets to be a bit much at times. Okay. What's Jax's goal here? Almost thinking we need something to be happening. So why don't we go for a random event? A random event here. I'll make a roll on our random event focus table, but anything that doesn't make sense that has to do with either Jax or an NPC connected to the temple here, I think, or the cult, I'm just going to re-roll. So let's just do this. We'll go 20 even. A new NPC. Okay. Logical reason for a new NPC to appear in your adventure right now. Yeah, I'm sure it probably is. Okay. Alright, who is this new NPC? Why is he here? Let's roll on our meeting table. So action 1, 29. Defend. And the action 2. 19. Defend, defense. Alright, so this is someone very defensive. Okay. I'm thinking maybe it's somebody who spotted Jack's kind of whipping through it and takes notice of him. New NPC. What do we got here? Let's try using the Star Wars Oracle here. So, let's make a roll on the races homeworld's territory one here. So it's a D100 33. We end up with a Zabrak. Alright. Not much more I think I can use from that particular oracle. Let's go to Un and find out a little bit more about him. Alright. Zabrak. NPC modifiers. We got 74. Curious. And then the noun is going to come up as 21. Curious missionary. That actually kind of makes a little bit of sense. We're not going to worry about our PC. We're not going to worry about power level here. But we are going to worry about the motivation. 31. Guard. Makes sense. And the noun here. 38. The world. Okay. Who is this guy? Okay. Male or female? I'll just say even is a male. On D6, 4, it's male. Do not have a name for this dude yet. He's the chief of security for the Temple of the Rising Waves. Yeah, I think that's good. His sole focus in life is to ensure the safety, and security of the temple and the acolytes therein. I'm sure they don't think of it as a cult themselves. So this Zabrak, some more we can get out of this, yeah. Let's get some descriptors of this guy. Character appearance. Let's roll on that from, this is from Mythic. $43. Innocent. Let's give another roll on that too. 59. Innocent. Mundane. Alright. He dresses in street clothes so as not to be noticed by passers-by. But he's noticed Jax. He has a keen, there you go. He has he has sharp, keen senses. And sees, so his keen senses and sees much of what goes on around the temple. We still need a name for this dude. I think we got some naming kind of stuff in here. I'll use the names table here in Mythic to try to get an idea as to what we're going to name this dude. 11. B. 31. I don't like this, although already. 55. Is an odd way to use this table. Okay. How about Bemis? Yeah. 59. What are we pulling out here? Bemis Fernie. Not exactly your normal Zabrak name. Cool. Okay. As Jax cruises by, a Zabrak takes notice of him. He sees Jax look over as he from his land speeder, and it's clear Jax has given the temple a good look. Bemis flags Jax in his head, as a possible threat. And I'm thinking that's kind of where we're going to wrap things up for tonight, because I'm thinking the next scene is likely. So next scene, inside the temple, or dealing with Bemis and his security. So I think that's where we're going to be. Okay, last thing is an obligation roll. 39. That's a no. Okay, and I'm just going to do this quickly because the next scene, actually I do need the episode stuff as well. It'll be episode 19. Episode 37 will likely be inside the Temple of the Rising Waves. And I'm thinking that we're okay to flip this down. So we also need to change this because we threw the dark side point at us. Chaos factor is going to come down to 6 next time. Okay. Cool. Next time we'll be on to scene 37 again. I don't reset the scenes for each adventure. We just keep going on. And there we go. And I think that's kind of where we're going to end things. We're definitely over an hour now. Yep, a little over an hour. That was kind of cool. I've been kind of having... I almost didn't come back to this because the Mythic threw me for a loop last time so bad that I really didn't know what to do with this, and I was starting to feel a little frustrated, but figured the best thing to do is probably just go for it, do whatever it is I'm doing, and go from there. So it kind of worked out this time. We know we're now investigating the Temple of the Rising Waves. They're responsible. They're the ones who who sent the goons to steal Hellman's items, the more valuable items from Jax's cargo. Cool. All right, then. That's it. If you are tuning in, thank you, I guess, for watching. Again, I do this mostly for myself, and I like to record it, so if I ever want to go back through it, I can do so. I'm probably more likely to eventually get a transcript made of this thing and go from there. But anyway, have a good one. Take it easy, and I don't know, may the Force be with you.